it has, multiple tabs, and I was kind of expecting that, like 17 of you would send it back all filled out and so on, and I received 0, which is either an indication of, okay, we're not yet ready for this stuff, or don't bother us during the summertime with this type of stuff. Go away, right? So probably, however, now I have the permission to bother you as much as I want because you're paying 35 bucks a month. Okay, so tabs. The first thing is a business summary, and the idea is, well, several ideas here. Once you start submitting your applications for your venture, for investment, so I get something like 400 to 500 applications for investment each year. It's impossible for me or any of my colleagues to read 400 to 500 business plans, right? So we only read the executive summary, which is either 1 page or 2 pages, and even that is too long for us because we're very lazy. We just read the business summary and then make a decision as to whether we're interested enough to keep reading the executive summary, and then if we're interested in the executive summary, decide whether we want to read the business plan. So this is your first acid test. If you don't win me over here, you're gone. You're in the pile with the other 399 applications that just got passed over. Not only that, but we squeeze you even harder. We so much hate fluff that we give you 450 characters maximum to describe your venture concept to us, and the form, the software is designed such that you cannot enter even the 451st character. That's how tight we are. So within 450 characters, you're supposed to convince me that I should keep reading this application. Terrence, are you very tired today?
Yeah.
Why don't you go get yourself a big cup of coffee? The largest one they got. Okay, and come back. Do you have money?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, so we're going to do this. Next is, now let's get this a little bit more complicated for you, okay? Now, it may be a little bit hard for you to see. You have to identify the lowest hanging fruit that you can pick with your venture concept. What does that mean? A pilot test market, the easiest set of customers that you can access. If you cannot win in this domain, you don't have to fight anymore. If you lose the battle right here, then don't waste anybody's money, don't waste anybody's time, don't waste your own time, give it up. Die fast, right? This is one of the key things that we tell people. If you're going to die, die fast. So you need to identify for us what's the lowest hanging fruit. Where can you do the initial pilot run to see whether this thing can get traction or not? Let me give you an example, for instance. So one of my favorite teams last year, which unfortunately didn't launch, but it's okay, was My Imagination. E-books, customized e-books for children with autism. Let me ask the question, what would be the lowest hanging fruit area to try it out? What would you do? How would you test it out to see whether people will buy this stuff if we create it? Where's the test market for it?
University Medical Center?
University Medical Center. Probably not enough people just within the University Medical. I mean, I'm talking in terms of customers, buying customers. So expand it just a little bit more. Tucson. So Tucson has a tight-knit community. The autism community is already tight-knit. Mothers of children with autism talk to one another in Tucson. It's easy to access. If we can't sell to them, give it up. How can we sell over the entire country? How can we sell across the globe if we can't sell it in Tucson? So first, all of you have to identify this lowest hanging fruit, initial niche market, whatever we want to call it, and you're going to describe it. And also, unfortunately, you're going to have to figure out what is the total market size in that niche market. So for example, the number of families with children with autism is X in Tucson, which is a findable number. And if they were to buy 2 books per year at $10 a book, the total, and they all bought it from us, and every one of them bought, that's the meaning of the total available market. We're not concerned about market share yet. So this is a, let's say, $1 million market. The Tucson market for customized ebooks targeted at the parents of children with autism is a $1 million market. And we're going to take 5% market share. That's the goal. That's my success metric for this phase of the game. Next, markets we will go after once we have demonstrated customer willingness to pay for our products during the pilot phase. So what's the next stage of the game? Before you go global, before you become the next General Electric, you still have to walk before you can run. So the Tucson was, the lemonade stand. We don't just jump into a bottling factory the next day, even if we win the Tucson market. What's the intermediate step? And then what's the big picture? So start small, think big. People will ask you about this because investors are, so this is the fear phase. We're going to lose our money. And this is the greed phase. We didn't lose our money, thank God. Now how much can we make? So those are the 2 parts that we need to fulfill. Yeah.
And also, and I don't think you agree with it, is that there are possibly 2 or 3 ways in which you can funnel your market for a particular industry or your venture council. And I don't know if I can have 30 seconds.
Sure.
I'll show you 2 things like that we did. And this is up to date information. So the first thing we did is we said the Mexican online market, 57 million people buying online, so this is our 57 million, from which 40%, 44 million online users in Mexico, from which 57% buy online, which is around 25 million, we said 25. Of this 25 million, 44% are looking for consumer electronics. So that's one way to do it. So 44%. And that's a huge number, so no one would have believed us. And another way to do it is that from those 44 million users, 25 million are buying online, and 5 million are buying at auction websites. And that's way easier to funnel, and we can keep funneling this down. We got to a point in which we have 25 million, 5 million, and 1 million, and that's a million we were starting with. And the further you can go down, the more you will be credible, because you're showing your research.
That's right, and it's more realistic. So saying like, the standard stuff that we say is saying we will get 0.001% of the Chinese market and then we'll be billionaires is, again, goes into the fluff category, totally meaningless. Saying that we have drilled down the market, like Luis was saying, down to 500,000 people, the lowest hanging fruit 500,000 people, and we'll capture 10% of them, is much more effective, believable, defensible, credible, etc., etc. So I'm going to assume that for now, none of you, well, maybe I'll challenge you. Who has a rough idea today of what might be the appropriate lowest hanging fruit pilot test market might be for their favorite venture concept today? Somebody must be working on something that addresses students, and so the obvious answer is University of Arizona, for instance. Was that what you were going to say? I read your mind. Yeah. Any other, beyond the easy ones, so give me some of the tougher ones. A niche market, a pilot market, where you're going to prove that people will actually buy this stuff. Yeah.
I know we talked about it, but the parents living in the suburbs who send their children to private and charter schools, who pay for the ballet lessons, the dance lessons, etc., etc., etc.
High-income folks who are super concerned about the type of education that their children are getting, and her idea is a cultural idea, like, well, why am I saying?
like it was the international pen pal system that I mentioned in class last, like, was it Tuesday?
So if you squeeze it harder though, you would focus on high-income such parents in Tucson.
Right.
And then you need to find out, where do these people hang out? How can I access them, right?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
They hang out at the Desert Angels. So you just go there and give them a presentation, right? Okay, so the next thing that you're going to have to do, these are, not easy. Conceptually, they're very straightforward, very easy. As I keep saying, none of this is, quantum physics, but has to be done. Let's just run for it occasionally. Competitive matrix summary. A no-no is to say we have no competition. If you say that, right off the bat, you lost credibility, everybody turns off their ears. Every company has competition when competition is defined as, alternatives. The alternative is doing nothing, for example, so everybody has competition. Some of you may not have direct competition, exactly the same thing, but everybody has some competition. So we're going to generate direct